58. We made it to the end of the course, but we're not over yet. So here we're going to talk about antitrust and monopoly and international business law. Again, final layout, open exercise, interactive lecture, discussion, mastery, and of course the portfolio project we'll discuss in a little more depth. Let's go to the discussion forum. High-speed internet, it's working. There we go. All right, so you're working for an international corporation. The director of your department has called a meeting to state that the company must always consider international issues conducting business globally. Safe work environments, fair wages, abuse of child labor, unfair treatment of workers, the environment, and legal business practices are all topics that are unfortunately in the news all too often. So we've heard about these in one form or another. We've read them somewhere. So I'm sure everybody has seen them, so we've got a good idea of what we're talking about here. So, previously these were problems with the U.S. were President of the United States, and obviously we covered labor laws and stuff like that, keep kids out of the workplace under 16. If you're 16, you work only 10 or 15 hours a week. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. The average work week is up to 40 hours. So a lot of labor laws back in the early 1900s fixed how this country functions. So however, in the other countries, foreign countries, these problems still exist. Society is bound to repeat their mistakes if they do not learn from the past or learn from how we've done our other countries, developed countries like England and Canada, and a lot of European countries are doing that. So define what should be legal and an ethical reaction to the business community for these types of violations. So the first topic of discussion we have is, if the issue is domestic, construct the proper solution. So if you got child labor happening in your neighborhood, your state, your city, whatever, how do you fix that? Describe how conducting business internationally might change your analysis. So if you say we're working in a country in Africa, there's no labor laws. The kids work just to help support the family. It's part of the tradition. You know, if you're old enough to walk, you're old enough to work. So that's something you have to look at too. Interpret whether we have to consider ethics universally and provide a rationale if ethics apply specifically to practices within a country. You'll do a search. There is an international forum for international ethics, work ethics in the workplace that is not enforceable. There are accounts where they try to influence other countries to get on board with business practices that do not violate international laws like child labor, which we've seen in Asia. A lot of that is common practices as well. So look forward to an interactive and fun discussion on this, and hope you learn a lot. Let's go over to the portfolio project. This is a really fun one. If you've never written a business plan before or even thought about it, but you thought about it, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur and have my own business one of these days. So you have two options here, domestic or international business plan. So let's talk about the business plan, domestic business plan overall. So it's APA format as usual. So the introduction of the proposed business is your executive summary. The executive summary is often considered the most important section of the business plan. The section briefly tells your reader, me, where your company is, where you want it to take it, and why your business idea will be successful. If you're seeking finance, the executive summary also has the first opportunity to attract a potential investor. So the summary should be no longer a page long. Don't get long-winded and off track, but get to the point. What is the business about? Why is the business idea will be successful? Where is it at right now? Is it a startup, or are you in the middle of you need finance to grow the company? If you're going to ask for financing, come up with some kind of a proposed idea of, do a profit and loss or a projected or forecast of cost of starting a company, how much money you need, why you need it, break it down incrementally into different categories. You need operational costs, you need startup to get the business moving, you need to buy property, to buy equipment, you need inventory, et cetera, stuff like that. Next, you describe the type of business entity is best for your business. So examples would be a partnership, an LLC, limited liability company, a corporation. Which one are you going to apply for? You should not use or choose a sole proprietorship for your business entity. You want, because that's want something a little more in depth. You want to go out and find out what are the requirements in your state for an LLC, a corporation, or a partnership. What are requirements? And you go to your state Secretary of State or whoever handles the business side of your house in your state. They should be able to give you what the layout is, how to apply, what works best for your company. If you're just a little coffee shop, something like that, LLC is fine, or a partnership is fine. Describe the specific legal steps needed to be followed to successfully start the business. Step per step. Go to the Small Business Administration website. They lay it out. Copy paste it, of course, cite it. What are the steps? Discuss them. Just don't throw bullets in there and move on. Discuss your bullets, exactly what's going on, how these steps are going to be processed, what is the process in that state, what are the steps setting up your business. Recommend and describe an appropriate written agreement for a particular type of entity chosen. For example, articles of corporations are good to have, such articles of organization, partnership agreement. How is this company going to work? It's basically your roadmap for your business. Who, what, where, when, why. Always answer that in there. How is it going to work? Draft a valid contract. If you're got a coffee shop, obviously going to be coffee beans, right? So a vendor supplying coffee beans, you're going to write a contract to that vendor, supplier, or even a customer. If you have writing a contract with a customer, one student do a car washing, portable car washing business, and they had a contract set up between the business owner and the customer. So you could do something like that as well. Again, be creative with your contract, cover all the elements in the contract that we've discussed in Module 6 and 7. Explain potential ethical considerations for your business, including social responsibility plans or attitudes that your business will embrace. Social responsibility, you're going to give back to the community. Are you for-profit or non-profit, 301c? Are you going to, profit sharing with your employees? Are you going to clean up the park once a month or clean up the highway? How are you going to be socially responsible? Use green products only use things locally, stuff like that. Describe possible agreement that could be disagreement, among the partners or investors and shareholders. Recommend a potential resolution referring back to the formal documents such as the articles of corporation and partnership. So how are you going to handle a dispute? So you and your business partner have a dispute. They want more of a share because they think they're putting more time into the business than you are. So they want 65%, and you only get the rest. So how is that going to be settled? If the stakeholders don't like the way you're operating your business, how are you going to settle that dispute? Have a plan, a written plan there, so you can address disagreements and have a solution to way out of it. And finally, you're going to determine how the business will be terminated or liquidated if the disagreement between the board of directors, shareholders, or partners cannot be resolved. If you and your business partner cannot come face to face or agree on it, okay, that's fine. Let's sell the business, get out of it, we're done. This is how we're going to do it. So the idea behind this business plan is a roadmap for your business, how you're going to function, how you're going to operate, so you're not shooting from the hip, making things up as you go. You have it written down, and that's a good, solid agreement between you, the business partner, and the stakeholders, whoever's involved. Because if you got investors, people are supplying you money, yes, you do think, well, why can't you guys settle this? Why are you selling it? There's going to be a lot of people involved. 8 to 10 pages does not include the title page or the reference page. So you get a lot of writing here. Go back to what we discussed in the past 7 weeks and pull all your knowledge together there, and that should help you do the contract. Same with option 2, the international business plan. Obviously, this is going to be on a different perspective. You're going international versus domestic. So executive summary, describe type of business entity, see the legal steps setting up business, not only in the U.S., but the country you're considering. So if you're going to set up a business in Mombasa, Kenya, what are the business steps of setting up a business in Mombasa, Kenya? Describe those steps, obviously. SBA or international Websites could tell you how to set up businesses, a ton of them out there. There's probably about 1,000 consultants to each one. I'll try and get your business set up for you, which is good if you're actually going to do it. Recommend describe appropriate written agreements, draft a valid contract, explain the ethical. This is the key one here for international. Now you got to get more in depth on ethical considerations of your business because you're just doing business with a different culture, different perceptions of business, different ways of conducting business. What are the ethical things? Some of the ethical issues you may run into is fraud, paying off other people to get the job done. Paying off government entities to get permits, stuff like that. So that's an ethical issue there as well. And let's see, obviously, how do you settle a disagreement as well there? Either it's two partners can't see eye to eye, product line, borrowing money for expansion, advertising campaign in the host country. How are you going to settle that disagreement if that's the agreement? And finally, again, how are you going to dissolve this business? And of course, if you have any questions on this, please do not hesitate to ask, and have fun and look forward to